Okay, so this is just an introduction session for design thinking. It's an awareness session, we can call it. We want to give a short awareness on this topic because we want to have a national level competition on design thinking process. So in this session, I'll give you an overview of what design thinking is, and then I'll also at the end we can discuss about the brochure content, what all will be the part of this national level competition. Um, yeah, basically I'll start with the awareness, then we'll discuss more on the competition. Okay, so just starting the before starting the session, I'll give a short introduction about me. So my name is Bharati Raja, and I'm working as engineering leader in ZF CVS India, Chennai, and I have about 17 plus years of experience. And within ZF, I have about 13 plus years of experience in different roles. I've completed my master's in manufacturing management from BITS Pilani. Yeah. Okay. What is design thinking? So it's a human-centered approach to problem solving and innovation. So it's basically a problem solving methodology which is also supporting innovation. This more emphasizes on the empathy, creativity, and iterative prototyping. So empathy, you may know, it's like putting yourselves in other shoes. Here we are talking about customers. We need to think how or what the customer is expecting, what are his pains, what are his expectations. So we need to empathize with the customer situation and take that as an input for our creation of product or design. And we also combine with our creativity to come up with some innovative solutions and some creative solutions for the customer's problem. And we also do prototyping. It's a iterative process. It's not a linear single line development. It can a product development can have multiple iterations via prototyping before we reach to the final solution. So it's a structured methodology that designers, engineers, and innovators use. So it's not something new. It's a age-old practice. But as time progresses, there are some refinements. There are some improvements in the process and tools being used. So it's a global process. If you see, it's applicable for any product development organization. It's not just for the automotive industry, but for any organization which is dealing with product development or service development. It's applicable for industries across domains. So this is basically useful for all the designers, all the engineers to come up with some problem solving and innovations, innovative solutions. So why design thinking matters in automotive industry? So as I mentioned, this is, even though it is applicable for industries across globe, across domain, our focus will be for automotive industry. So let's see why it is very important for automotive industry. So as I mentioned in the first slide, this is more customer centric, and we empathize with customer and try to understand what the customer is really expecting, what the customer is really going through. In many situations, you can see that customer will not be able to clearly picturize or clearly state his requirements, but he may be going through some kind of pain or some kind of uncomfortableness. As designers, as product development engineers, it's our responsibility to understand what is customer expecting, even though it's not explicitly mentioned. We need to identify what the customer may be expecting from our products. So it's customer centric. Design thinking helps automotive professionals understand and address the evolving needs of customers resulting in more user-friendly design. And it's a collaborative environment. So when you see in an organization, you should or you have to collaborate across teams, across functions, in order to collaboratively come up with some solution and collaboratively develop the end product. So this is a methodology which fosters collaboration. Design thinking encourages cross-functional teams to work together towards innovative solution. So it's always better to work with teams, across teams, within team and across teams. So this is where you get a lot of improvements, lot of inputs to improve the product and your solution. So this methodology is also supporting this competitive edge. So when you see you are in competition with other companies to bring out the solution to the market faster, and it's a tool which encourages this competitiveness. You have an edge when you develop a product which is different from your competition, different, and more innovative, cost effective, whatever. It should be better product than comparing to your competition. So this methodology, when you use it, you get an edge to develop a very good innovative design. So this is applying design thinking technique. It gives an competitive edge by enabling them different to differentiate from your competition. What are the benefits of design thinking methodology? So it's a problem solving methodology. That's what we saw. It enhances the problem solving process, and it also uh, increases the user engagement. As we already saw, this is a user centric or customer centric methodology. So always the focus is for the user engagement and uh, usability of the end customer, and also innovation and creativity. There are a lot of tools recommended in this methodology which will foster innovation and creativity. Yeah, creativity is not just the individual dependent, it's a process dependent. If you see in the organizations, there are a lot of tools and processes that you can follow to kindle your creativity and come up with some innovative solutions. So if you want to think out of the box, you go through a certain process which encourages you to come up with some innovation. And when you see design thinking, this is the entire design thinking process. It's a 5-step process which starts with empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test it. So empathize is, as we already discussed, understand the needs and perspective of the customers through research, interviews, and observations, for example. So there are different tools and techniques by which you can collect customer inputs. You can a few are suggested here, but this is not extensive list. You still have many more tools. So we will go through all these tools, or whatever is most commonly used, which will be easier for you to implement and understand the customer requirements and customer pain points. Define. So here in this process, this is where we analyze all the customer inputs and define the problem clearly and identify what challenges we have from these inputs, and based on that we define the problem. Okay. And ideate here, we from identifying the problem collected from the customer, we go through different ideas how to come up with a potential solution. And this also has a lot of tools which helps you to come up with ideas. One of that is brainstorming, and then we have scamper method, and there are a lot of other methodologies. We'll go through all these tools and come up with different ideas which can be used to generate the end product solution. And once the idea is generated, you can go to the next step, which is prototyping. So to start with, it will be like a low fidelity prototype, that is of prototype which is of lowest possible quality, but which also gives the minimum function to know if your idea is basically working and if it's basically feasible. So prototypes of the proposed solutions allowing for iterative refinement and based on the user feedback. So here the prototype is developed and it's also subjected to some kind of usability by the tester or the end user to know what is the feedback, what do they feel about the product, if it meets the basic requirements, or do we have some improvements to be done. This all can be identified by the prototyping stage, and from that we go to the testing where the feedback is received by customers and the prototype testers. And this is a iterative methodology, as I mentioned before. So it's not a straight line as shown here. It could be like when you find a problem or issue with your test results, you then again maybe have to go to ideate phase again, or maybe you know what is the problem directly and then just fix it via prototyping another prototype. So any step you can go back to reflect on the solution and come up with a refined product. So there are various tools and techniques used in design thinking, some of which are like user persona, like collecting the inputs from the user perspective, and we have brainstorming, which is like discussing with various members across the team and outside the team to come up with some solution to discuss and get different perspectives. This is very powerful. And then prototyping tools. So these are just few, but there are nearly about 39 tools if we speak about design thinking. So we have selected few tools per phase, and during the workshop and during the competition, we'll have chance to go through the various tools and techniques. So as we already discussed, this is a cross-disciplinary collaboration opportunity to take up design thinking, and it's a iterative method where you can go through various different cycles of refining the solution and come up with improved solution. And you can also develop user-centric mindset. Okay, so any questions or clarifications? If you need, you can just open up.